Thank you, Representative Knauss. Before I begin remarks today, I want to acknowledge the horrible incident that happened last week in Portland. My heart goes out to all of the families impacted by the incident. I just want to make it very, very clear that hate and discrimination have no place in our Oregon. It's truly my privilege today to celebrate Oregon's first standalone transgender equality law. Now more than ever, it gives me great hope and encouragement that Oregonians continue to take a stand to protect the rights of every single person who calls Oregon home. We will not let hate or bigotry define who we are. We are breaking down institutional bias and discrimination to create a state that embraces and supports the diversity of our communities so that every single Oregonian has an opportunity to thrive. Throughout Oregon's history, thousands have fought for and demanded more rights for all Oregonians. And we have achieved enormous victories in Oregon to protect our LGBTQ Oregonians. Almost a decade ago, Representative Knauss, many years after that 1993 legislative battle, we passed the Oregon Equality Act. Congratulations. With a little help from a federal court, we were able to extend marriage equality to all Oregonians. We banned conversion therapy. We created an LGBTQ office within the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs for the first time ever. And I was very proud last year to announce new guidelines for our schools to support transgender students across the state 2 weeks before the federal government came out with theirs. The guidelines were developed with the extreme assistance of Basic Rights Oregon and, of course, our Oregon Department of Education. Thank you. We cannot and we will not retreat from the progress we have achieved. Individualism is at the heart of Oregon values. As a fundamental human right, government has no business dictating personal identity. I'd love to share with you the words of Nora Broker, who bravely shared their story during the bill's hearing and fiercely advocates on behalf of all trans and non-gender binary Oregonians. As a severely marginalized community, Nora said, transgender people have learned a deep mistrust for the official institutions that have for so long treated them with skepticism, scorn, or worse. It's even more daunting for groups such as transgender people of color who face marginalization on multiple fronts. A request such as posting personal information on a public bulletin board may seem trivial to many people, but for a transgender woman of color who has faced domestic abuse, that request may sound very different. HB 2673A reflects our tradition of protecting the liberty and dignity of our people. I proudly sign into law this bill, and I stand very proudly with the trans community. I also want to thank and acknowledge my good friend, Representative Knauss. Thank you, Rob, for your and Senator Monis Anderson, who carried the bill through the Senate floor. Is she here? Nope. Let's thank her anyway. All of our legislative community for your love and support. Thank you very much. And I also want to extend my sincere appreciation for Basic Rights Oregon for your continued advocacy and support of our LGBTQ community. As your governor, I will continue to do everything in my power to create a safe and welcoming place for all Oregonians. Thank you.